factor completely. For me personally, I always like factoring when the number in front of the x squared is, you don't have to do this when it's positive. So if you wanted, like it's a negative right now in front of that x squared, I can factor out that negative and then see if I can factor anything else. Okay. If it could be factored, it would be 2x and x is the only way to get positive 2x squared. And I need my last ones to be 2. So it's either going to be 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, but I need my outside and inside to make 5. So just looking at that, can you see that I should try 2 and 1 this way? My outside would be 4, my inside would be 1. To get a negative 5, they would both have to be negative to do that. Now double check. Does it work? I got the 2x squared. Hey, negative 1, negative 2 does make positive 2. And my outside and my inside is still minus 5x. Okay? And I can list my non-permissible values. There's just the 1, x can't equal 1. Is it going to be a whole or a vertical asymptote? Okay. This can't, they're close, right? But they have to be identical to cancel out. So it's going to be a vertical asymptote at x equals 1. Next, so will we have an oblique asymptote or a horizontal asymptote? What type is this? It's a parabola over a line. And when it's bigger on the top than the bottom, this is the situation where you get your oblique asymptote. How do we find an oblique asymptote? Well, we take our original equation, which is, and do synthetic division. So it's negative 2 plus 5, negative 2, divided by x minus 1, so you put a positive 1 out front, bring down the negative 2, then multiply and add. Multiply and add. And so your oblique asymptote will be at minus 2x plus 3. Remember, you can just ignore the remainder. And once you have all of your asymptotes, that's when I would start graphing. So, off to the side here. Vertical asymptote at x equals 1. Oblique asymptote, negative 2x plus 3. And again, even though the oblique asymptote looks like it separates it into a third section, it's only your vertical asymptotes that break your graph into different sections for the domain. Oh, didn't the last question ask us about domain? I think it did. Remember how at the beginning of the year I told you how important it was to reread the question at the end and not just go on to the next thing? I skipped that, and it came back when it cost me a whole mark. So for the domain on that last one, all you have to write is x can't equal negative 5, and x can't equal 5. So when there's only single values missing from the domain, that's how you could write it. Just for fun, this range is kind of complicated. The range is, in one notation, you could write it like this. Okay, the y values are less than negative 2, or the y values are greater than or equal to 0. So you could write this as negative infinity to negative 2 with a round bracket, and then a square bracket with 0 to infinity. So that's kind of a different. There's no values between negative 2 and 0. question we were on. Got our oblique asymptote, we've got our values, and now we want to find some nice points. Always start with your y-intercept. Is it easy to find out what happens when we plug in 0 for x? Go back to the original. It's going to be -2 over -1, which is just 0.2. X-intercepts. Plug in 0 for y. Look at your factored form in your numerator up there. We would have one x-intercept at 2, 0, and the other x-intercept at 1/2, 0. So I'm looking at my numerator right here, especially in the factored form, what values would make that numerator equal to 0? And I can label those points. 2, 0, and 1/2, 0. Do I need more nice points? Do I have points in section 1? I do. I have enough points in section 1 to draw my graph towards the asymptotes. I feel like the oblique asymptotes is the most likely for you to get an E10 error, especially on this one. Check. You just drew this one. Did this part of your graph in the end, did you swing away from it? Because if you did, then you're going to get an E10 error. Because your graph is supposed to get closer to your asymptotes, but never touch it. So just be careful with that. And then, do I have any points in section 2? I do. In fact, this is enough for me to draw towards the asymptotes as well. Try not to get that E10 error. So we didn't need any nice points in this one. So sometimes you need to find a lot of extra points, and sometimes the x-intercepts and y-intercepts is enough. All right, circle question number 5.